in terms of, let's say, the next 5 years or out to 2020, I mean, I think we can get back to the, say, $70 level, $75 level. I think it's going to be hard to see triple-digit oil for a while, but, you know, that's where we're headed. On the other hand, this year, I think there's a chance to test the lows that we've seen so far.
The only way to get back to 70 would be either a huge jump in demand, which seems unlikely given the global economy, or a cut in production, which seems more likely, but who's going to cut production?
I think that's the thing. I mean, you have this, if you will, three-way game of chicken, right? I mean, I'd like to think of supply in three big buckets. You've got OPEC, you've got new, the new challenger shale, and you've got what clumsily I'll call non-OPEC, non-shale. But none of those are blinking. You know, at the beginning of this year, we thought CapEx cuts, maybe non-OPEC, non-shale is going to start declining more quickly. We thought OPEC maybe stays flat. Now they're actually gunning with the production. Saudis may be going to 11. And shale, U.S. shale is just holding up.
11 million barrels a day.
That's right.
Which would be just a massive output by Saudi
It would be, if they do that.
Who just borrowed $27 billion last week.
Yep.
Because many people, I know it's not your area of expertise necessarily, say that at $46, $45 a barrel, Saudi Arabia may be losing money all in with their needs inside the nation.
Yeah, no doubt they are losing money. I mean, one thing we look at is the so-called fiscal break-even price of oil. What's the price of oil they need to balance their government budget? That's probably somewhere, it's not a science, but somewhere around $70, $80, or $90 per barrel. Right. So they're running a deficit. On the other hand, they have massive borrowing power that they're only now just tapping.
You were listening to the interview with Warren Buffett earlier, his comments on energy and the markets. Do you agree with him? Where do you stand?
Yes, I mean, in terms of oil prices staying lower for longer, yeah, I think we might even get another downturn. The problem for the U.S. shale guys is that for the first time in a long time, the U.S. is right on the margin. These guys are playing the game of if you put in more money into these companies, they produce more. They are directly impacting, they're right on the margin and impacting where the price goes.
Yeah, and it's easy to forget that once a well is drilled and there's a pump jack on the well, the incremental cost is almost nil. Right. The cost is in the initial couple weeks to drill and get it going. To cap a well, to actually stop a producing well, is incredibly expensive and time-consuming, and there's always legal issues you got to deal with environmental regulations, whatever. So on that basis, with the exception of wells being drawn down quicker because of the newer technology, do you see a big decline in U.S. production coming in the next couple of years?
I think it's hard to see. I mean, for the shale guys, what we're seeing is even at current levels, even at a 60% cut in the rig count, right? Well, one thing to note is that the U.S. actually has spare capacity now, which is something that used to be only the realm of the Saudis. But with U.S. rig counts at 40% of what they were, U.S. production probably stays flattish, and you have offshore production that's unrelated to the price in the short term that's still coming on.